By acknowledging and welcoming our esteemed dignitaries that are present here in this room at the L'Abandonné Waterfront Hotel, the Honourable Lila Devitu-Luchman, Vice Prime Minister and Minister of Education, Tertiary Education, Science and Technology, Her Excellency Ms. Kate Chamley, the Australian High Commissioner to Mauritius, Acting Senior Chief Executive of the Ministry of Education, Mrs. Sandrine Valère, Dr. Anita Gora, Ombudsperson for Children, Mr. Aribianj Abilak, Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ministry and Minister of Education, Tertiary Education, Science and Technology, Australia Awards alumnus as well, Mr. Roshan Pereira, Assistant Executive Director of Examination, Certification and Testing of the School Curriculum and Standard Authority of the Western Australian Government's Department of Education, Mr. Yamal Matavadou, CEO of Polytechnics Mauritius, Mr. Jared Sidi, Director, StudyWest, Mr. Simon Sivaluk, Director, StudyWest Education Services Mauritius, members of the press, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the launch of StudyWest Education Services in Mauritius. My name is Melin Baloo. I'm a broadcast host and your MC for this landmark event. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we celebrate the dawn of a new chapter in educational empowerment. StudyWest Education Services, a premier education firm founded in Perth, Western Australia in 2017, is now opening its doors right here in Mauritius. This expansion represents more than just a new office. It symbolises a bridge between continents, cultures, and most importantly, opportunities. At the heart of StudyWest's mission is a commitment to inclusive education. They believe that quality education should be accessible to everyone, from high achievers to those with ordinary qualifications. By partnering with top-tier Western Australian institutions, StudyWest is democratising access to world-class education. Ladies and gentlemen, this launch signifies more than just new educational routes. It represents new dreams, new careers, and new futures. It embodies the transformative power of education and the boundless potential of every student when given the right opportunities and the chance to excel. As we proceed with tonight's program, we'll hear from various distinguished speakers who will shed light on the immense possibilities this partnership brings. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we step forward into this exciting journey, let us remember that we're not just launching an educational service tonight. We are launching countless futures, igniting numerous aspirations and building bridges that will benefit generations to come. Let's begin our program with a series of pre-recorded messages from esteemed partners who made this possible. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll start with the Honourable David Templeman, Minister of Education in Western Australia. Next, we'll hear from Mr. Maurice, Scott Maurice, Trade Commissioner at the Austrian Trade and Investment Commission, Austrade. Then from Mr. Aziz Saba, the Director of Investment and Trade for the Government of Western Australia, Middle East. And we also have a message from Mrs. Naushid Chaudhry, Investment and Trade Commissioner for the Government of Western Australia, India, Gulf region. Thank you all. Please direct your attention to the screen.
StudyWest, your gateway to excellence in Western Australia, is opening an office in beautiful Mauritius, and I've got a magnificent StudyWest representative, Jared, here today. Now, the team at StudyWest want to connect with you and invite you to visit and study here in Perth. And Western Australia is home to top-ranked education institutions. We offer excellent programs and a great lifestyle and a wealth of employment opportunities. Where, Jared, we're surrounded by nature. We have an incredible coastline and, of course, even some very strange wildlife, which you will love. Now, our economy is the strongest in Australia, and there are many job opportunities across lots of areas for students and graduates in various industries. So parents and students, your well-being is our top priority. We want you to be part of the West Australian community, and we of course believe that this place is excellent for Mauritian students. Now, we're dedicated to providing a supportive community where you can both excel, both academically and personally, and Perth, it's the only destination you need to come to study and expand your worldview. So Jared, congratulations. And you and the team at StudyWest on this new venture, we're very excited about supporting it. I hope you enjoy the StudyWest Mauritius launch and the West Australian Open Day. And these events offer you an opportunity to chat to representatives from our universities, our vocational institutions, and our high schools about the wonderful opportunities here in WA. And as an associate member of the Government of West Australia's School Curriculum and Standards Authority, StudyWest are also available to discuss the delivery of the world-class WA curriculum in Mauritian schools. So, come to Perth. Come to Perth. Jared's here and his wonderful team are here. I love this place and I want to welcome you to Perth as a brilliant place to come, study and learn and be part of the West Australian lifestyle. Thank you and well done to Jared and his team at StudyWest. Well done.
Thank you, Minister. Australia's Trade Commissioner to Africa, based in Nairobi, Kenya. I wish to first of all congratulate StudyWest on making a profoundly good step in opening an office in Africa and beautiful Mauritius specifically. Africa is vitally important to Australia's international education sector, sending roughly 15,000 students to study in Australia each year to gain a great global start to their careers. Western Australia is a beautiful part of Australia with some of our best universities and offerings, and StudyWest will help you understand what these are as we begin our educational journey. I'd also like to give a warm Australian welcome to all of our African friends that may be starting to examine their study options and are evaluating where to go. It's perhaps not well known, but you don't need to go to Australia to get a quality Australian education and qualifications. Australian universities and colleges have established themselves in many other parts of the world, including a strong presence in Mauritius. So if travelling to Australia seems a bit daunting, please remember that there are other options provided by Aussie universities that can help you on your path to international education. Once again, StudyWest can help you examine all these options and others in more detail. Wishing StudyWest a great opening Thursday and everyone who passes through their doors a great start to a successful and hopefully Australian education. Thank you.
Bonjour and hello. I'm Rashid Chaudhry, the Investment and Trade Commissioner for the Government of Western Australia, Invest and Trade WA. Honourable Minister for Education in Mauritius, the Australian High Commissioner in Mauritius and our federal government colleagues, our friends from Perth who have travelled all the way for this opening, and a big round of applause to Jared and Simon for expanding StudyWest into marvellous Mauritius. What an honour to be here today. Western Australia is a destination like no other. We're 1/3 of Australia's landmass. We're about a $410 billion economy. We're home to a beautiful coastline and beaches, and yet we're only 2.9 million of a population. It makes us quite innovative with what we do and quite global in our outlook. We've been known for many years to be a top mining investment destination, home to 53% of the world's lithium reserves and 50% of minerals and rare earths. Our government has a very strong focus on diversifying our economy, so we have been diversifying that economy across 8 sectors, which include energy, health and life sciences, defence, space, tourism events, creative industries, primary industries, and most importantly, international education. Our government was the first to appoint Honourable Minister Templeman, who you've heard from earlier today, as the first international education minister focused on this particular sector. There have been significant government incentives as well as an amazing ecosystem that has been fundamental to the growth of this sector. And most importantly, there is a beautiful diaspora community in WA, and Simon standing right there in front of you is a testament to that, he has expanded his base, done his research in WA and brought a taste of that back into Mauritius. So, there is this beautiful ecosystem to experience, and WA is not only home to amazing research institutes, universities, vocational education providers and schools. It is a destination where there is a huge opportunity to pursue your career, to actually launch your entrepreneurial journey, and it is this ecosystem that enables it with a very thriving economy. I just want to congratulate StudyWest again for your endeavours, and a big thank you to Study Perth and my colleagues back home in international education that have supported this course. All the very, very best. We would love to invite all of you to come and experience and study at WA like no other. Thank you.
My name is Maurice, Director at the Government of Western Australia, office based in Dubai. We are part of the India Gulf Network. First, I would like to thank and acknowledge the Ministry of Education in Mauritius, our Australian federal colleagues, the Australian High Commission in Mauritius and Australia for their support. Most importantly, I would like to congratulate StudyWest on their recent expansion in Mauritius. StudyWest team has been collaborating with its Mauritius counterparts on several education initiatives, including training programs, higher education, upskilling initiatives, curriculum development, as well as articulation programs. Western Australia is a great place for students to live, learn, and launch a bright future. Western Australia offers a range of pathways with world-class higher education and research institutions. Curtin University in Mauritius is a great example of the strong links with Australia. Once again, wishing StudyWest all the best with their expansion plans in Africa. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you to all of them for their valuable perspectives, ladies and gentlemen. Now we move on to the speech part of the event, of the ceremony. I'd like to invite our five we may now proceed. We'll start the series of speech with Mr. Simon Sibalek, ladies and gentlemen, Director of StudyWest Mauritius, to address us. Mr. Sibalek's journey from humble beginnings to become a GRI certified sustainability professional and education counsellor is truly inspiring. So please welcome Mr. Simon Sibalek. Thank you.
Good evening. Honourable Leela Devi Dukan-Lachman, Vice Prime Minister and Minister of Education, Tertiary Education, Science and Technology. Her Excellency, the High Commissioner of Australia, Dr. Anita Gura, Ombudsperson for Children, Mrs. Sandrine Baer, Senior and Chief Education of the Ministry of Education, Mr. Harivansh Obilak, Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ministry and Minister of Education, Tertiary Education, Science and Technology, Australia Award Honours, Mr. Roshan Pereira, Assistant Executive Director of Examination, Certification and Testing of the School Curriculum and Standards Authority, SCASA, for Western Australia, Government Department of Education, Mr. Yaman Atabajul, CEO of Polytechnics, Mauritius. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Thank you for coming. On a late Friday afternoon in 2018, I received a call that would change my life completely. Jared Seeley from StudyWest, representing a prestigious Australian university, reached out to help me process my application. So I was actually thinking to go to study in Australia, obviously. So our journey began 5 years ago when he extended his hand to me and my family. And today we stand here to extend the same help to other Mauritian and African students throughout StudyWest Mauritius. Thank you, Jared, for doing this journey with me. It has been an honor to work with you in Perth, which I still do, and it's my honor to fight beside you for the education of our children. So, Madam Vice Prime Minister, Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, StudyWest is about our children and their future. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you all to this grand opening of StudyWest Mauritius. Education is the most powerful weapon we can use to foster change in the world. This sentiment, often echoed by global leaders, is a testament of transformative power of education, and I can confirm it's true. StudyWest strongly supports the A Seat for All agenda. We are dedicated to providing optimal guidance to students and parents, tailoring our service to their individual circumstances. While the most accomplished students often have multiple options for higher education, our primary challenge lies in assisting our students with average Cambridge and IB scores, or even less. Irrespective of their scores, we believe that every child has the potential to pursue higher education in Western Australia. Throughout our articulated pathways, we have successfully guided numerous international students along these pathways, enabling them to enroll in bachelor's and subsequently pursue master's degrees in their chosen fields. Madam Vice Prime Minister, Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, according to our academic research, 61% of students with an average Cambridge score who followed a specific pathway have successfully obtained a bachelor degrees. In comparison, 19% has gone to earn a master's degrees. StudyWest aims to demystify education by making it more accessible without compromising quality. We offer Mauritian students from all walks of life the opportunity to pursue higher education in Western Australia. Our commitment aligns with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 4, which aims to ensure inclusive and equitable education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. We are dedicated to reducing disparities and inequities in education, both in terms of access and quality. Over the years, StudyWest has developed strong and mutually beneficial collaborations with most Western Australian universities and vocational education providers. By securing the participation of the Western Australia government, universities, pathway providers, vocational education and training vet providers, and high school, we foster collaboration across different educational sectors. With this backdrop, Jared and I have found it fitting to open StudyWest Mauritius. The logistic facilities like high-speed internet access, and we are only 6.5 hours to 7 hours to Western Australia. And today I am happy to announce that we have already signed formal agreements with a couple of well-established and reputed institutions in Mauritius. The upcoming event on the 13th of July will bring together these diverse stakeholders, along with the School Curriculum and Standards Authority, SCASA, to ensure representation from various levels of post-primary education system in Western Australia. Implementing a multidisciplinary approach enhances our impact and efficacy. Promoting a thorough understanding of educational opportunities in Western Australia. This comprehensive showcase will enrich the perspective of the student community in Mauritius. The event's focus on community integration and cultural exchange will enhance the overall development of Mauritius students, ensuring a positive and enriching experience in Western Australia. Madam Vice Prime Minister, Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, my late father, Bishmadev Sibalek, who liberated me from any preconceived beliefs and barriers in life. I was once a practical entrepreneur lacking formal education, credentials, but I have since breached the world of academia and practical businesses, which is thanks to Jared and Western Australia. This journey is one that other children can also achieve. I strongly advocate for the transformative power of education in fostering individual and collective progress. Thank you to everyone who made today possible, especially to my wife Sharon for her unwavering support, and my mother who is always here for us. Ladies and gentlemen, the future of education in Mauritius and Africa is bright with the establishment of StudyWest. Together we can ensure that every child has the opportunity to achieve their dreams through education. Thank you for your attention, and I look forward to our collaboration journey on. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sibalek, for sharing your personal story and actually your vision with us, and I think this one deserves another round of applause. Next, ladies and gentlemen, we'll hear from Mr. Jared Seeley, Director of StudyWest Perth. Mr. Seeley has been at the forefront of StudyWest missions to connect actually international students with top-tier Australian education. So please, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Jared Seeley. Thank you.
Good evening. Honourable Vice Prime Minister, Minister of Education, Territorial Education, Science and Technology. Good evening, Your Excellency, High Commissioner of Australia. Good evening, Ombudsman for Children. Good evening, the Deputy Permanent Secretary, Minister, and Minister of Education, Territorial Education, Science and Technology. Good evening, Assistant Director of Examination and Certification and Testing at School Curriculum and Standard Authority of the West Australian Government Department of Education. Good evening, the CEO of Polytechnics Mauritius. Distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, and dear friends. In 2012, I embarked on my journey as an international student to Western Australia. Having grown up in Zimbabwe and spent most of my time in the UK, I eventually found myself studying in Perth. The experiences I had from high school in Zimbabwe to my studies in Australia were vastly different, yet incredibly enriching. After completing my education in Australia, I took various roles before co-founding StudyWest Education Services in May 2017. Our mission was clear: to provide friendly, reliable, and consistent support to international students in Perth. Our journey began with our first student, Muchaneta, a young lady from Zimbabwe who needed help transitioning from her diploma of nursing to bachelor degree in nursing. With StudyWest support, she graduated and became a registered nurse in Australia. Today she lives in Western Australia with her husband and her 2 children, a living testament of the transformative power of education. Tonight, we celebrate a new chapter as we officially launch StudyWest Mauritius. This initiative aligns perfectly with the Mauritian government's vision to make Mauritius a leading global education destination. We envision Mauritius as a beacon of educational excellence, where students can thrive in a safe, multicultural society. With its impressive infrastructure and esteemed educational institutions, institutions, Mauritius stands as an ideal hub for international students. At StudyWest, our mission has always been about more than just providing opportunities. It's about changing lives. Our A Seat for All agenda embodies our unwavering commitment to ensuring every student in Mauritius and Africa has a chance to pursue higher education. We strive to bridge the gap between dreams and reality, offering guidance and creating pathways for students to access world-class institutions, whether they're in Mauritius, Western Australia, or beyond. We envision StudyWest as a lifeline for African students aspiring to study in Mauritius, facilitating a smooth transition and fostering rich cultural exchange. By welcoming international students to Mauritius, we aim to enrich local communities, cultivate a vibrant, diverse environment where everyone can learn from each other. We respect the current school curriculum in Mauritius, recognizing its strengths and laying a solid foundation. We also see the immense potential to introduce diversity, to cater for a varied learning abilities and needs of all students. Our goal is to enrich the current existing curriculum by offering internationally recognized Western Australian Certificate of Education. We will enable students to achieve an education that meets global standards, aligning with our vision and every child's unique learning journey. As we embark on this thrilling adventure, I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the Honourable Minister of Education, the High Commissioner of Australia, and all our distinguished guests for their steadfast support. Your presence here tonight highlights the significance of this initiative and fuels our passion to pursue our mission. To the directors, CEOs of high-profile companies, institutional delegates from universities, high schools and vocational colleges, thank you for your partnership and belief in our vision. Your collaboration is the secret sauce to our success, and more importantly, to the success of the students that we serve. Together we have a golden opportunity to revolutionize the future education in Mauritius. We invite you all to join us on this endeavor, to collaborate, to innovate, and to inspire. Let us roll up our sleeves and work together to create a brighter future for our students and forge lasting connections between Mauritius and Western Australia. A special thank you to my incredible parents and my wonderful wife Leanne and my amazing children for being here tonight. Your unwavering support, love, and encouragement mean more to me than words can express. Your presence here tonight is a testament to the importance of family, the bedrock of my life. I'm profoundly grateful for everything. Let us celebrate the new beginning with hope, enthusiasm, and a shared commitment to excellence. Thank you once again for being here. Let us make this an unforgettable journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Seeley, for those enlightening remarks. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we'll hear from Mr. Ruslan Pereira. Mr. Pereira is the Assistant Executive Director of Examinations, Certification and Testing of the School Curriculum and Standards Authority of the Western Australian Government's Department of Education. So, ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Mr. Pereira. Thank you.
I was really impressed by Jared's comments, so I've decided to just redo his speech. So, first of all, I'd like to acknowledge the Honourable Leela Devi Dukan, pronounce that correctly. If not, please correct me. The Vice Prime Minister and Minister of Education, Tertiary Education, Science and Technology, Her Excellency, of course, the High Commissioner of Australia, Dr. Anita Gure, your Ombudsman for Children, Mr. Harivansh Ubelik, I hope I pronounced that correctly, and again my apologies for the pronunciation, the Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ministry and Minister of Education, Tertiary Education, Science and Technology, and of course Mr. Limal Abdul, who we've been speaking with over the last couple of years, the CEO of Politics Mauritius, and to acknowledge everyone that is here tonight that have taken the time to come out and participate in this wonderful ceremony, especially to my colleagues from Western Australia, who amongst them represent the West Australian universities, our private and public training organisations, as well as our school system. So thank you for joining us on this journey. I'd like to start off by acknowledging the wonderful work that StudyWest is doing. And we heard the comments from Minister Templeman. So this is one of the ministers that I report to back home. Acknowledging the vision which Simon and Jared both spoke about, that StudyWest has for collaboration with Mauritius. We're very, very honoured and grateful to be a partner with StudyWest. So this is the School Curriculum and Science Authority, so we're the Education Board of Western Australia. So we're very honoured to definitely be a partner with StudyWest on that journey. And I think that vision that Jared and Simon were talking about, it extends beyond just the onshore aspects of international education. And today we have the great privilege of meeting with Professor Kieran Budget, so the Director of Tertiary Studies and Research, as well as colleagues from the Ministry of Education, in an opportunity to exchange different ideas, different observations, and where each of our systems are heading towards with regards to education. And it was wonderful to hear about the vision that Mauritius has for international education, and that strategy to grow to, I think it's about 10,000 students internationally from different parts of the world, but mainly Africa, coming to Mauritius to study. And that vision and that strategy reflects some of the thinking that we're doing in Western Australia. There's very much an alignment between the strategies of both Western Australia and Mauritius. And I think that provides a bedrock for some really good collaboration. And that collaboration, I think, is very much focused on quality education outcomes. And I think my colleagues from Western Australia would agree that at the core of it, that's what we want. We want to create sustainable education outcomes that support students on whatever journey they might be. And today we also learned by meeting with the Ministry of Education about the multiple pathways that are available to students in Mauritius, which is an absolutely wonderful and amazing thing. Because it's important to recognise that it's not a structured, it's not a singular pathway that students are on. As people, as children, students that are entering into the next phase of their studies following secondary school or even during secondary school have multiple pathways that they may wish to follow based on their own aspirations, their style of learning, and the way in which they engage with our education systems. And listening today to the multiple pathways that Mauritius has on offer, made me reflect on what we provide in Western Australia, which my colleagues from Western Australia will be able to speak to later today when we meet with them. And there are multiple pathways to help students get to where they want to get to, whether that be through vocational educational training, whether that be through that academic pathway straight to university. And our role, I think, in working with StudyWest is to provide opportunities to facilitate that pathway, to look at how we can recognise through education, through curriculum, through certification, how we can provide those opportunities for students, however diverse those particular pathways may be. So we're really, really pleased, really happy to be here. And on behalf of the Government of Western Australia, I can say that we are certainly quite privileged to be here. This is my first visit to Mauritius. Landed last night, and from the short time that I've been here, I can say that I'm really sort of humbled by the interaction with people here. The hospitality and the welcome that's been extended, it's sensational, and it just sort of makes you feel at home. So this won't be the last time I come to Mauritius. It's the first of many such trips. And I certainly look forward to working with Simon, with Jared, on implementing their vision for StudyWest in this part of the world. I look forward to collaborating with the Ministry of Education and institutions here and working with our colleagues from Western Australia to provide that pipeline, all those opportunities for students, whether they're coming to Africa, to Mauritius to study, and hopefully from Mauritius going to Western Australia to continue their studies. So we look forward to working with you on those opportunities. And before I finish, I just want to give a special acknowledgement to Ms. Yasmina from the Australian High Commission, who has been working tirelessly with me and putting up with me for the last 2 years to assist us, I think, in getting to this point. And she has certainly been, your contribution has been very valued in our work with StudyWest, and of course our High Commissioner, Her Excellency, as well, for your support, without which I don't think we'd be able to have the sorts of conversations that we've been having while here. And certainly today, I think we were so privileged and so happy. So thank you, Yasmina, Your Excellency, for that opportunity. So yes, so I wish StudyWest all the best. Your success will be our success, and our success will be everyone's success. So I look forward to working closely with you and the Venture Mauritius, and I look forward to forming closer education partnerships with our colleagues here in Mauritius. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pereira, for those insightful comments. Round of applause again for our guests. It is now, ladies and gentlemen, my great honour to invite Her Excellency Ms. Kate Chamley, the Australian High Commissioner to Mauritius, to address us. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Her Excellency Ms. Kate Chamley. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm just going to shift this out a little bit if I can. Okay. Hello to you all. Good evening, the Honourable Lena Debbie Dukin-Leachman, Vice Prime Minister and Minister of Education, Tertiary Education, Science and Technology. Acting Senior Chief Executive of the Ministry of Education, Mrs. Sandrine Hilaire. Dr. Anita Gora, Ombudsperson for Children. Mr. Haribanesh Bobila, sorry. I'm still getting the pronunciation right of all the names, clearly. Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ministry and Minister for Education, Tertiary Education, Science and Technology, and also an Australia Awards alumnus. Mr. Rocha Pereira, Assistant Executive Director of Examination, Certification and Testing of the School Curriculum and Standards Authority of the Western Australian Government Department of Education. Mr. Yamal Matabalu, CEO of Polytechnics Mauritius. Mr. Jared Seeley, Director, StudyWest. Mr. Simon Sivalak, Director, StudyWest Education Services Mauritius. Members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. It's really an honour to be here this evening to mark another important moment in Australia's partnership with Mauritius, the official opening of StudyWest's Mauritius office. It's also a great honour for me to have been appointed as the Australian High Commissioner in this beautiful country of Mauritius, and to be a custodian of the very warm relationship between these two countries. Australia and Mauritius have a strong relationship based on our historical ties, people-to-people links, common interests and shared values in support of democracy and good governance, including in the Commonwealth. It is well known that Australia is home to the second largest Mauritian diaspora in the world, some 30,000 people of Mauritian descent who are living in Australia. Close to 2,000 Mauritian students are currently studying in Australia, and now there are over 2,000 Mauritian and international students studying for Australian qualifications in Mauritius, either at Curtin Mauritius or other local education institutions who have partnerships with Australian education providers, such as polytechnics and potentially others in the room tonight. Of course, a major element of the Australia-Mauritius relationship is our shared Indian Ocean. We share the Indian Ocean with the great state of Western Australia on its shore, and also Mauritius. Australia is a committed partner in the Indian Ocean, and we recognise that Mauritius has an important position and role to play as a gateway to the region, and to the African continent also. Our cooperation in the Indian Ocean is deep and wide-ranging, encompassing active engagement in regional fora such as the Indian Ocean Group Association and multilateral efforts like the Combined Maritime Forces. These are to address common challenges and pursue common interests across security and transnational crime, blue economy, environment and climate change, and women's economic empowerment. We have also been pleased to have extended our partnership recently to the Indian Ocean Commission, headquartered here in Mauritius, who we've been working with to improve the region's disaster management preparedness. Of course, the world is increasingly globalised. We are more connected and interdependent now than ever before. This was challenged during the pandemic, but things are back on track now, which is great to see. And today, our education cooperation reflects this increasingly globalised world. A great example of this was the recent graduation ceremony that I attended at Curtin, Mauritius, just last month, where 360 students from Mauritius, Botswana, Cameroon, France, Germany, India, Kenya, Madagascar, Namibia, Pakistan, Rwanda, Singapore, South Africa, the UAE, Zambia, and Zimbabwe graduated here in Mauritius. We have witnessed a growing number of research and education partnerships developing between our two countries, coinciding with Mauritius's Vision 2030 strategy of becoming a leading education hub within this region. A key focus of this growing partnership has been in the field of the blue economy, but also agro-industry, health, education and training, and renewable energy, with a strong focus on sustainable development, working together to draw on the latest innovations and technologies. Australia's broader education partnership is multi-layered, from pre-primary to primary to secondary, vocational and tertiary education. It has been so pleasing to see the development of the partnership between the School Curriculum and Standards Authority, known as SCASA, of the Western Australian Government's Department of Education, and the Duke's Bridge chain of pre-primary and primary schools. Duke's Bridge, who also have a school in Kenya, have been offering the Western Australian school curriculum in their schools here in Mauritius and are now set to offer the Western Australian Certificate of Education at their new high school. And here today we launch another element of education cooperation between our two countries with the opening of StudyWest's office in Mauritius. StudyWest, congratulations. As you have heard, StudyWest is an associate member of the School Curriculum and Standards Authority of the Western Australian Department of Education, who will focus their efforts on promoting the Western Australian Certificate of Education curriculum, both here in Mauritius and the region, and supporting Mauritian and African students who want to study in Mauritius or in Australia. Australia has a global reputation for excellence in education, science and research. We have a tradition of cutting-edge research, today looking at breakthroughs using blockchain technologies, robotics, artificial intelligence and big data. Australian education institutions have created a cadre of Australian alumni who are making a difference to the communities we live in around the globe, including right here in Mauritius. So the Australian High Commission looks forward to supporting this important next phase of our education partnership. And I'd just like to finish by congratulating once more all those who've been involved. There has been so much work over many years to reach to today, and so congratulations to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for your words and for your continued support of this initiative. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I have the distinct privilege of inviting the Honourable Mrs. Leela Devi-Dukan-Lutchman, Vice Prime Minister and Minister of Education, Tertiary Education, Science and Technology, for her speech. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the Honourable Mrs. Leela Devi-Dukan-Lutchman.
Your Excellency, the High Commissioner of Australia in Mauritius, Ms.
Kate Chamley, Mr. Pereira, Executive Director of the School Curriculum and Standards Authority, Australia, Mr. Sally from StudyWest, Australia, Mr. Sibalek from StudyWest, Australia, Mauritius branch, Professor Bergen from the Ministry of Education, Mr. Matabadel from Polytechnic Mauritius, high officials from the Ministry, the Ombudsperson for Children, delegates from Western Australia, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'm glad to be in your midst this evening as we open a new chapter, as stated earlier by Her Excellency, in the academic collaboration between Mauritius and Australia. Indeed, today we celebrate the launch of StudyWest, a highly reputed education agency from Australia in Mauritius, and we hope that it will be guiding students towards Australian curriculum, but provided both in Australia and in Mauritius. I would like to take this opportunity to convey my warmest welcome to all the delegates who have travelled here for this occasion, and I wish a very pleasant stay in Mauritius. I hope that you will also make time during this trip to visit the island and its many interesting places. Today's event opens a new phase in the collaboration between our two countries, highlighting once again, should this ever need to be emphasized, the excellent rapport that exists between our two countries and our institutions. Truly speaking, ladies and gentlemen, the partnership between Mauritius and Australia in higher education is a testament of our shared vision for excellence in academic excellence and cultural exchange. The fact that this collaboration has been ongoing for a number of years is again a testimony of its good health. Indeed, we cannot forget that Mauritius currently hosts an Australian higher education institution, while several of our public institutions have very vivid, ongoing working relationships with a vast array of Australian institutions. Thus, to name but a few, the University of Mauritius has research collaboration with the University of Western Australia, University of Technology Mauritius has an articulation program agreement with Murdoch University, and Polytechnics Mauritius Limited has a topper program with La Trobe University for its nursing course. My ministry has had a number of collaborations and agreements with the South Metropolitan TAFE in the past and Deakin University. And there are discussions, I'm told, currently with Edith Cowan University for a renewed partnership for PhD courses in Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, when we consider our partnership with Australia, as stated earlier by some other intervener, it's not just an alliance. It's a relationship covering a number of various sectors. Her Excellency, the High Commissioner, stated that it covers various spheres of our economic sector, but all these different sectors rest on a cross-cutting foundation, which is education. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very much glad to hear that StudyWest, on getting implanted here in Mauritius, will start to open up opportunities not only for Mauritian students wishing to go abroad, but opening opportunities for a number of other students from the African mainland to come over to Mauritius and avail of a variety of diversity of education, proposals. We find that in Mauritius now, you can have universities, as I've stated earlier, a number of Australian universities and other British universities collaborating with our local institutions to provide this diversity in offer. And yet, the collaboration with Australia has been extremely fruitful. I stated earlier, Curtin University has been doing very well, Polytechnics Mauritius with La Trobe has been doing very well, and what is also interesting
is that our education system is very much in line with what is proposed in Australia. We believe that every child has a potential and every child should be provided with the support for him to succeed. Our system has built-in scaffolds to allow children, wherever they find themselves in the education system, whether they are in our state schools, in our public schools, in our private schools, in our vocational centres, or in polytechnics, they can all eventually aspire to move up the ladder and even go for a degree course or a master's course, why not? And this is what we have created with the multiple pathways in Mauritius. We have created possibilities for students in school or in vocational training to eventually converge towards higher education institutions. Now these pathways, we managed to put it up because we had a very close collaboration between the university, the higher education institutions, but also between the Higher Education Commission, the MQA, and a number of other institutions, ensuring that there is a proper, let's say, possibility for credit transfers. So not only are we talking about people in institutions, but we're also talking about people working outside, having some knowledge, having some experience, and we have come up with a recognition of prior knowledge. So we have a common vision. We are looking in the same direction, and we are providing these scaffolds for our students to rise. So basically, our two countries have the same vision in the education sector. Now Mauritius, just like Australia, has an ambition. And our ambition is to make of Mauritius a regional hub for higher education. And we have been working towards it, and as Her Excellency just mentioned, this is one of the major, let's say, items of our Vision 2030. And we have been working towards it. But we are very much conscious that this we can achieve with collaboration with institutions from different countries, mainly UK, India, Australia, and we already have a number of such partnerships. So what we are proposing is that, in fact, we have 50 scholarships that we offer to Africa every year. And one problem that we have come up with sometimes is that some of the qualifications do not match with our requirements for university. So what we have done in Mauritius, we have modified these so that now the scholarships are available not only for degree courses, but for diploma courses and for postgraduate courses. So we can sort of give them the proper pathways for them to reach the higher education institutions. But what is also interesting is that Mauritius can, because of the partnerships that we have with various institutions across the world, and because of the facilities that we have through our organization, maybe the SADC or the COMESA, we can easily allow the transfer of students. And then we have a responsibility in the area as a member of the SADC country, as a member of the COMESA, to provide for our friends on the mainland. So what we are trying to do is to ensure that the education system that we put at their disposal is of a high level, high standard, high quality education, but we also want it to be relevant to the needs of the country, whether it is our local needs or the needs of the countries on the continent. And this is why this collaboration becomes even more crucial, even more relevant, because we want to be a supporter for the region. We have also noted that over the past years, the demographic bulge that we have in Africa will bring up a high demand of young people between the age of 18 to 25 for higher education. And I think Mauritius can easily position itself as one destination for that. As stated earlier, our geographical location, the facilities that we have, the political stability that exists in Mauritius, the intercultural experience that we can offer are all very strong factors that would attract students. I must say that even in Mauritius we have around 3,000 foreign students, but it's just a start. We want to build up on that number. We are focusing on students from the African region, but we are also getting students from Southeast Asia, from India, especially for the study for education, medical, medicine, that area. So we're having a number of students coming into the country. We want to increase the number, but there is one very important factor that I haven't mentioned yet, is the affordability of the courses. If we are in collaboration with universities from Australia, then we also need to bear in mind that when we are offering courses for the continent, it has to remain affordable. Now, the very fact that the students do not have to travel across the oceans to Australia and can avail of Australian courses and programs in Mauritius will definitely lower the cost. But this is something that we need to bear in mind. What I would also ask StudyWest to help us is to create a partnership between our institutions so that we have more and more courses and articulations between these universities and our local higher education institutions, so that we can not only cater for our local students, but cater for the students coming to us from Africa and elsewhere. So already we have sort of laid the foundation for this regional hub to operate fully, but then we need, as I stated earlier, the collaboration. In essence, Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, this launch is a celebration of possibilities. It is a reminder that education cannot be confined to borders. It is a universal pursuit and it transcends geographical boundaries. I would therefore in this context request international delegates to also seize the opportunity to open discussions and create ties with all our local higher education institutions, whether they be public or private, to create ties and therefore with the aim of creating joint articulated programs. I would also ask our higher education institutions to continue enhancing inter-institutional cooperation. As mentioned by Her Excellency, the Ambassador, the High Commissioner, there is a high need for us to develop certain areas that we have identified in our Vision 2030, namely the blue economy, sustainable development, and these are areas where we can collaborate with the Australian universities, especially in the field of research. And I believe that such collaboration has already started, but we need to enhance it and promote it. So let us work together, as stated earlier by others before me, to create this environment, this ecosystem, where students can eventually grow and succeed. As we build on this foundation, we must remain committed to promoting this collaboration and providing greater institutional support. Ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, I'm confident that you will all be committed to strengthening our partnership and our shared commitment to excellence in education for our mutual benefits. When all is said and done, the future of our students should shine brighter with our continued support, and we will achieve definitely greater things together. So thank you all for your kind attention, and let me wish StudyWest in Mauritius lots of success, and let me also wish that StudyWest in Mauritius can also promote Mauritius as a destination for higher education. Thank you all for your time.
Count of three, maybe. Let us together inaugurate this new chapter in Mauritian education. 1, 2, 3.